Adventurers, welcome back to the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. This is your host, Tom Robots. I'm here with Lotus of Doom, and we are creating our own daedric monsters today with our patrons. Lotus, are you excited? I'm excited.
I'm kind of concerned about what we're going to come up with.
Yeah.
I mean, we always stay very reasonable in these things, and I'm sure this won't be some type of horrible abomination.
Yeah, this might be terrible. This might be amazing. This might be amazingly terrible, but we're just going to have to find out. The
last one.
Yeah, so we've got a whole cast of characters here today, and each of them have been brainstorming their own daedric creatures, and we're going to get all sorts of weird stuff. But before we get into it, I'm going to read out everybody's names that are here, and on the count of 3, you're going to unmute, and then you're going to make the sound that your daedric creature would make. Here we go. Ben of Temeria, Ombre Mortem, Rob the Princess, AK Spartan, Falcon with the box on, Sheogorth, Sweet Roll, and Professor Bayless. Get ready. 3, 2, 1.
Roar.
So we have some type of flatulent demon who is pretty apathetic about yelling.
If you were to combine them all into one monster, that is the weirdest monster sound I've ever heard.
Perfect.
Also, somebody did like a buzzing bee sound. It was like a very high-pitched note.
Well, there was that, and I was going to say I'm not entirely sure one isn't actually like some type of portal that was being summoned.
There's like a
it's a lot to unpack in that sound effect.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. So welcome everybody, and who would like to start us off? I see that Rob the Princess is still unmuted. Does that mean you want to start us off, Rob? No, Rob is not ready to go.
Rob, start.
All right. Professor, Lord Professor, you good?
No.
Lord Professor doesn't want to start. Falcon?
Dude, I just found out that this show is happening at 9.
Yeah, man. Welcome.
I've been busy.
Hey, it's
like every other time.
It is the last...
see you guys for the first time in like months.
Yeah, welcome back. It is the last Thursday of the month. So just in case you're ever wondering, what's going on this week? If it's the last Thursday of the month, we're doing a show.
Yeah.
So
I forgot that it was the last Thursday of the month until 9 o'clock.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Actually, I was going to say, I think I was made aware of this yesterday because I actually thought the last Thursday of I for some reason thought there was another week left, and then I realized time is weird.
That would have made for like 38 days.
Who would have thought that we all would use the Gregorian calendar today?
That's so strange. All right, so we need to talk about monsters. Who wants to kick us off? Who has any idea at all what they're going to be talking about on this episode?
I've got an idea, but if you can let it cook for a little bit, I might have something.
All right, you cook up that idea. You guys realize that Starfield just launched, and at least for early access. And the longer we do this show, the longer it takes us to go play Starfield.
Oh yeah, the official release date is my birthday, so I'm not playing early access.
Oh, you're gonna do it for your birthday?
Happy birthday when I'm playing Starfield.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I can start off just because I have a very specific thing to start with. I don't know if we're gonna like have a group effort of combining this into some type of nightmarish creature.
Maybe at the end we'll combine them all into one monster, but let's kick us off.
Okay.
What do you think of
So like something that they've sort of had a little bit in some of the newer Elder Scrolls Online expansions, they have kind of like a version of this, but for anybody who's played Diablo 2 or 4, you would kind of know what this is, but there's this like sort of sluggy type creature with like these blade arms, Belial. I really wish that there are not a lot of like large serpentine things in the Elder Scrolls. Okay, so you've got some serpentine based things, the Lamia, stuff like that, but they're thin, they're narrow, they're more human shaped type of deal. I really wish there was something more bestial as opposed to like a Medusa type enemy type of thing, where it's like 50% of this is pretty humanoid, whereas something like Belial, there's literally nothing.
Can I save you from the neckbeards? I think you're thinking of Duriel, not Belial.
Sorry, you are right. I'm thinking of Duriel. Belial's
also, you said a creature, whereas that's the name.
Yeah. No, you're
all
right.
Neckbeards come at you. That's all.
Well, that's fine. Neckbeards can do what they want. They're too busy yelling about Starfield. What do you call it? Yeah. No, you're right. You're totally right. It's Duriel that I'm thinking of. But yeah, I don't know. I find that character's design to be very, very cool. And outside this weird sort of, it sort of just looks like a centipede in Elder Scrolls Online, as opposed to, it's one of the new boss type enemies from the Deadlands. Cool design, but not so much what I'm thinking. This is like That's more like a thin crittery bug as opposed to like a slug type thing.
So you're thinking like somewhere between like a cross between like a slug and like a snake?
Yeah, like a slug, snake, serpentine type of thing. I don't know. It just seems something where the parts are there in the series, but like
would it have
never really made this mess?
Would it have limbs? Would it attack you with its mouth?
I would think it would have some type of limb. Like maybe like a stinger.
You know, in Elden Ring, there are those like snake-looking neck people, and their bodies are like long and snake-like, but their arms.
You mean the worm faces?
Yeah, there's the worm face guys, and then there's also these like snake people. But both of them have relatively short limbs for the size of and girth of their bodies and the length of their necks, which makes them really uncomfortable looking.
I was to say, it just sounds like you're describing a corgi.
You could have corgi daedra.
Corgi daedra. But yeah, I don't know. It's just something that I've thought because like there's a lot of random crap in the Elder Scrolls series for creatures and all sorts of stuff. But some of the creature designs tend to be safe, I guess you would say.
Yeah, some of them tend to be just very
not all of them, obviously.
Common. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't know. I've always thought that's a cool design when I first saw that thing, and it pops back up again in Diablo 4, and I was like, oh, it's cool yet again. And then you just destroy it. But yeah, I don't know. I was going to say that's something I thought would be kind of neat to add to the series. That
also like totally for Namira's realm or something.
Yeah, it could absolutely be like a Namira style creature.
Just looking at like Duriel specifically, I'm like, he's disgusting.
Yeah, no, it's gross. It's super gross. Like, so yeah, actually that would be kind of a neat tie-in if we ever do.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that's cool. More with that. She's never been like a super prominent one in the series, but compared to Hermaeus Mora or
like a Vermina kind of creature either. Like maybe it's like disease ridden or something. It leaves like a trail of like gross disease ridden something underneath it because it's the slug part
for sure.
And then it's like venomous. Yeah, you could do that stuff too.
I was gonna say it's a design from another series that I've always thought is very cool in and of itself. So I wouldn't mind some type of unique crossover into the Elder Scrolls based on something like that.
Yeah. So slug snake man thing. That's Lotus's offer.
Awesome. Greatest description.
Awesome. And Jumarov just showed up. Jumarov, welcome to the chat.
Hey, welcome everyone. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can, but you've got like a little sliver of visual happening on the side of your camera. But there you go. Oh, now
can you guys hear me?
Now your face is invisible.
Hold on.
Can you hear me?
He's got an invisible face. We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Where's your face?
Yeah, where'd your face go? Are you the daedric creature?
I think I'm having some technical difficulties.
I would say so.
It seems like it. Jumarov is a daedric creature. That's what happened right now.
I was going to say,
I can't hear you guys, so I'm going to head out, everyone. Have a good podcast.
All right. Bye.
Take care.
His face is gone, so I'm going to say, like...
That was the weirdest thing. I'm going to leave that in because I think that's Jumarov's daedra. I was
going to say, please do, because that's hilarious.
That's amazing. All right. Who would like to go next? We got to get through this because at this rate, it's going to be a 2-hour episode.
Something.
All right. Professor Bayless, what do you got?
Okay. I had one idea at first that, like, looking back, it's kind of stupid. I was just thinking, what if like an inanimate object was like made alive?
Oh, so, like those little books that fly around. Or yeah.
Oh, okay. So not like a mimic.
Then I
like
thought that was really
it's like a literal inanimate thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Would it be like the candle from Beauty and the Beast? Would it have like human qualities built into it?
Like maybe it could like open like eyes or a mouth out of the wax or something. I don't know. But I thought that idea was kind of goofy, so I binned that.
Okay. Oh, the wheel of cheese.
So do you have another
wheel of cheese in the world?
I did think of something because I was thinking back to the Accounts of Madness, or that's what it's called, right? Where Shake meets all the other
16 Accounts
princes.
of Madness.
Yeah. And I remember there was something like Hircine had a were daedroth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, well, the whole thing of a werewolf is like, or a werebeast, lycanthrope, is he's giving his like quote unquote blessing to a mortal. What if he said, well, screw you, it's a curse now? So then I was thinking, well, it probably wouldn't have its brain, and then if he wants it to be like a perfect slave for himself, it could probably like have like a bunch of different animal traits, like a chimera looking thing of like different like daedric and
so
some mundane creatures,
like a were chimera.
Yeah, but like with the daedra face, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say instead of if I'm understanding you correctly, instead of like sticking with just like, oh, it's a snake, a lion, and I can't remember. Yeah,
it's more
whatever the
an,
other standard
an abomination than a chimera.
Yeah, but you could use whatever. It doesn't need to be like, oh, it's these three creatures, because chimeras are technically
have like a drag claw or like a shark for a hand.
Yeah. Okay, so like a hodgepodge of multiple as opposed to just like
an
it's
abomination.
Yeah. All right,
an abomination.
Would they all look the same type of abomination, or would each one be unique to every individual one?
I guess it could like change around. Like it could probably like change on the spot. Would be cool.
I think that I kind of like the idea of them being like different types. Like if he hodgepodges them together, what's handy?
Yeah,
like a Frankenstein's monster of a thing.
Like you said the Elden Ring thing earlier, so it's kind of like Godric grafting like a whole bunch of stupid stuff to himself.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. Yeah, that's fun.
I think that's cool.
Wild Hunt.
So would this be
like a Wild Hunt type thing?
Would this be connected to her scene, or would this be more like
her scene?
I mean, I feel like it could also be somebody like Molag Bal who's just making abominations and
who's just bored and making daedric titans because he doesn't have a dragon.
Yeah,
it's like what can I stitch together?
Yeah, that could work too, I guess. Well, I don't know. Usually, in like the classic daedra, haven't been like stuck to one prince specifically, so I guess it could be like both.
Right.
That's true. Usually there's one that's like associated with the creation of it, and then it just kind of ends
I like
up
the idea that it's her scene because it's like an optimal hunter.
Okay.
And I can see like Clavus Vile have something like that.
Yeah, confusing people, and like somebody lost a bargain, with, like, and so he takes part of them and sticks it into this monster.
Oof. Yeah, that works too.
Yeah,
I don't know, I'm feeling her scene because I like Reachman stuff.
I actually kind of like that idea.
Like the animal aspect of it is pretty cool too. Yeah.
Well, also from a like, again, less lore, more gameplay design thing. If it was allowed to kind of like piecemeal together in one of the games, like they actually did something like this, that would give a lot of variety based on like, oh, how can we Lego block these heads onto whatever creature body we've got? And you have a lot of choices for nightmare
it's like when
creatures.
like you're a kid and you get bored of playing with your bionicles and you start mixing them together.
Right, like you take the head and put it where the leg's supposed to go, and then you take somebody else's head and put it where an arm is supposed to go.
Arm into like the body for another one.
So now you just have a body with heads in all the sockets.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh God, what is this?
Like you get like a shark for a hand, or like
why am I imagining a Megazord from Power Rangers?
Yeah,
that also works. Yes. I like that too.
Yeah, all of these things are like cousins of each other.
Yeah,
they're all slightly related.
That's got some pretty solid potential. Like that would actually I think, work in game quite well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember seeing a chimera where it said it had the heart of a lion, the head of a pigeon, and the body of a pigeon. And it just looked like a normal pigeon
with a lion heart inside. That's great.
That's my what would you call it, a fursona if it's a bird? I don't know. We're not gonna touch that.
Fursona. That's fine.
There you go. Cool. Bird. Well, this is a fun one, Professor.
Yeah,
Lord Professor.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah. It would be especially cool if you could like chop off the different body parts, and it would like still survive. Or maybe it has a mechanism where it then takes other things and then reattaches it to itself.
Actually, yeah.
Okay, so
that could be like some like Zod out of Berserk type stuff.
I was going to say, so it's got starfish abilities too. So you cut off its limb, and now suddenly it has a snake instead of a hand.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like you cut off its leg, and then like out of like the leg, like a squid tentacle comes out.
It's just constantly evolving unless you like really
it's just like
kill
a mess.
It. Yeah, it's just a mess.
It's just a mess.
A daedric mess. Cool.
Abomination. That's what I want to call it. The daedric abomination. Is that already a thing? It might be.
Maybe.
Well, there's like a flesh abomination, but you just drop the adjective to it.
Yeah, just replace flesh with daedric.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Good. All right. Let's move on. We got to get everyone else in here. Thank you. That was a really cool one.
I was going to say that one's actually pretty functional for like a game thing.
Well, we finally get 6 in like 2028 or whatever.
Yeah, 2035. Like I said, every day we inch closer to my ridiculous joke that I made like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it's like
just saying, it's now in early development.
Yeah. They're estimating 2028, which means probably by 2030. We'll get
2030 seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah. So, Rob, did you had your hand up? Did you want to go next?
Yeah. I think. Well, I think. 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 I rough draft of an idea, and I think it's fun if I
as
a group and kind of go from there.
All right, you keep on like stuttering. I don't know if your connection's being
Oh no,
weird.
I just got the unstable.
Oh no! All right, you work on that. We'll come back to you. I think maybe Ben was ready. Ben, were you ready to go next?
Yeah, I'm ready to go next.
Okay, we're gonna jump to Ben, and then we'll come back to Rob. Make sure that nothing else is running in the background or whatever. All right,
so
go for it, Ben.
Essentially, take a death claw, replace its head with the head of a dragon, give it wings on its back, replace the tail with the serpent. It holds 2 swords on one of each arm, and the tail and the eyes of the snake can shoot lasers.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And it breathes
All right.
fire on top of that.
All right. I like how we're going like sort of spacey with this one.
So wait, so it's wielding weapons. It has a snake tail. It shoots lasers.
Yep.
But dragon's
breathes fire
dragon
and
face.
it can fly.
This seems okay. So if I were to go to, this is not meant as an insult. It's meant to talk about the creativity of people who are unbound by like expectations. If you go to like, let's say a kindergarten class and you're like, everybody draw a monster. There's some kid in the kindergarten class who's going to draw exactly that. And everyone's gonna be like, "What is this?" And they're gonna be like, "Oh, you know, it's got a dragon head, shoots
It's gonna
lasers."
mess you up.
It's terrifying. Yeah,
Ben, the kindergartner.
Hey,
I'm not saying you're a
I
kindergartner.
don't have a great imagination, so
No,
hey,
no, I'm
have
saying
it.
that
That's great.
I'm saying that you are. This is very imaginative because it's unbound. Like it doesn't have to. And that's the thing about daedric creatures is they don't have to fit in the reality of like the real world, right? They can.
Well, and then
They can be whatever they're made to be.
Creature has a reality.
Well, it's the reality based on the Daedric Lord and the only bounds that Daedric Lord puts on his realm,
fair point.
right? Like, that's it.
Hey, I mean, this could be Shergor that Gorath, for all we know. He
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
all nuts.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. So, yeah.
Or it could be
makes
Moloch
sense.
Bol just as in his attempt of trying to create a dragon.
Yeah, maybe this was like a early version of a dragon monster that just kind of went sideways and ended up as something completely different. Could be that.
Yes.
All right. How big are these things? Are they like, if it has a dragon head, is the rest of the body proportionate to the head?
They stand on 2 legs, so it's going to be, they're about like 9-10 feet tall.
I was hoping you were going to say pocket size just to totally throw all this off.
Little itty bitty guy. But his laser beam will shoot right through you.
Well, it sounds absolutely horrific. Like, how would you fight something like that? And it's like, but it's 7 inches tall. It's like, God.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that
feel
would
like,
make it even harder because then good luck trying to hit it.
yeah,
Right?
At that
Yeah.
point, it's just a fly and it's constantly stabbing you to death.
right.
How many
right.
flies are 7 inches tall?
A big
Well,
one.
have you seen those Japanese forest hornets that are like going to kill us all soon enough? I mean,
Daedric
those
flies.
Yeah.
Yeah. This sounds like a crazy boss to fight, like in a dungeon somewhere.
It's
You know?
a nightmare creature.
Right. Like, all 4 of you end up in different places, but different parts of it attack each of you individually. Like it's super coordinated, right? Like it's breathing fire on somebody and the tail's attacking somebody else. And then it's hacking at somebody with an arm, like each of the body parts kind of doing its own thing. I could see that. Yep. All right. Cool. This one's good. Let's move on to Rob. Rob, is your connection better?
I don't know. You guys tell me. Does it seem to be okay?
Seems like it's better right now.
Seems fine. Yeah, you sound normal now.
So the idea I had as rough draft, hoping you guys can just help develop it once I say it out loud. We'll make it cool from there. I had that idea at the beginning of the call. Daedric corrupted Dwemer technology. So I'm thinking like a Dwemer sphere that's been like transformed by Daedric influence or something like that. Or maybe a different Dwemer thing altogether.
Yeah. So here's an idea. Can I add on to that?
Yes, please.
All right. So imagine some of the Dwemer get like taken over by one of the Daedric princes, right? Or they make a deal with him, and so now they're in his service, right? So he brings them into their realm. But he can't do the same thing that the Dwemer do with their technology because he's not a Dwemer, right? So he starts grafting on biological parts into the robot. So you end up with a sphere that has like like biology, like kind of the opposite of like taking a person and adding cybernetic things to it. Now you're taking a cybernetic thing and adding biological things to it.
I was initially thinking like a liquid metal type thing. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Magic the Gathering lore, but like Phyrexian type stuff, if that is a good comparison. But I like where you're going as well. It was different from where I was going, but I kind of like it more.
Okay.
So yeah, like you could have like biomass conjoined with the Dwemer, and it could be like a giant horrific lobster claw on a robot.
Sure. Yeah. You could have a big gaping maw, maybe let's talk about like a sphere, right? The sphere opens up, but then like it's actually made out of like biological parts. And so now you can kind of see inside its fleshy chest, and there's like a heart beating inside, and it's super gross. I mean, like
General Grievous.
Yeah. Like General Grievous. Yeah, absolutely. But it still can transform like a daedric sphere, and it's just squishy and just gross. And, you know, it still has arms and, it rolls around and has a head, but those parts are all biological. They're all like looking at you with actual like creature components.
Yeah. I like that a lot. Does anyone else want to add on to this gross monstrosity?
I was gonna say, isn't there a daedric realm that is directly tied into like soul gems, particularly? I'm trying to think which one was like the
daedric
soul cairn
necessarily, but the soul cairn, yeah.
Yeah,
Soul
it's
Cairn
kind of
with
like
the
that in
Masters.
between. Yeah, it's like yeah. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
the soul Karen.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, that's kind of interesting because like.
It'd be
on
very
the
easy to take over stuff. Then.
Right. Well, on the idea of taking over something, like in that regard,
Like a
there's
parasite.
actually, because again, tying it into like an ESO thing that's currently there, one of the mounts, it's like a corrupted Dramothra Sentrat. So like already it's a Dramothra, which it puts it in a weird place. And then it got corrupted. I think it's Namira who actually corrupted it. So it's like
That sounds right.
the weird lightning effect then is no longer like a blue lightning. It's like blue and then it's got like a green outline around that. So it's like, it's something that they're sort of like, I almost wish they would touch on that a little more, where it's like you have something where you've got one mindset for it and then it's kind of almost corrupted by something else. So you get this weird sort of kind of hybrid thingy.
Yeah.
And Namira makes the most sense for corrupting because she's tied
Right.
to the dark heart, which is corrupting. in nature.
Exactly,
And also,
exactly.
she's all about insects and parasites. And
Exactly.
such.
What if
So
this
it's
was
like-
what if this was a form of like punishment and slavery? Like a mortal enters her service and then she grafts them to a daedric like machine.
Okay, so instead of Dwemer, just a daedric machine altogether.
Well, maybe she takes the Dwemer machines and then grafts
and makes it because, like, you don't
humans or
see-
elves or whatever into the machine, because she can control the machine, but maybe she doesn't have full control over the person, and so she grafts them to the machine, and now they're moving without like their own approval. Like they've become basically these robotic puppets.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting too because we never really see much of the Dwemer Like Dwemer contraptions are like, this is blocking your path to get to whatever. You very rarely see them other than in that one regard for the most part. It's just kind of like Dwemer thing prevents you from getting into this area. So it'd be kind of neat if like there was more to it. Like, oh yeah, there's like a corruption to the actual Dwemer thingy.
Another comparison I got is the DC Comics Cyborg is like a human that was infected with the Mother Box technology, and he won the war. So he has his humanity still barely. He's like very cyborg-y, but he still has his personality. But then I would think this example would be the other way, whereas like this daedric parasitic metal latches onto you and consumes you, and you don't win the war. You
Right.
lost yourself.
Yeah.
You're
as
now
a
under
person.
control, but as part of the punishment, you're aware that you're not under your own control.
Oh God, that's
So
so
you're
much worse.
so you're constantly suffering, being puppeted around, and having to
love
do the
this.
deeds of the Namira or whoever.
Yeah.
You just blew my mind, man. I
I
had
was
no
gonna say,
idea that
that's
Cyborg
kinda-
actually had lore.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Totally
I didn't know that he
kick-ass.
was like sci-fi devil man.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's all
I
sorts
think
of
Ombre had something
stuff.
too.
yeah. Ombre?
I'm trying to remember. My brain, I think, or what's the name of the orc main city? I'm trying to think of its name.
Orsinium?
Orsinium. Yeah. So there's a quest right outside of it where there's a mine, and in that mine there's a bunch of Dwemer, and you actually go in there and you get the decision to either basically wipe out all the Dwemer, get rid of them, the orcs go back in, or you take them over and you use them to mine, which definitely gives credit to the idea that they don't really have a sense of self. They are more or less just puppets to whoever has the controls of whatever.
Right. Because
they're just robots.
Yeah. To that point, that when you get those, I know there was the one in Skyrim. I think there's another one in ESO. If you ever get the control rods in any of the places, and it's just like, go, my crappy little daedric spider, and it's just like, it meanders about, it overloads, and it breaks generally, but it's like, well, you did your best, and you failed miserably.
That whole quest where you fix it, and then he goes a little further, and you fix it, and he goes a little further.
He just like walks 10 feet and overloads. It's like, crap.
Yeah, that's pretty good. This was a lot of fun, Rob. It's a good one.
Yeah, actually, I like, it's something too. It seems like they could kind of touch more on that, because you don't see a lot of corruption related to these pseudo-inanimate objects for the most part. I mean, they're powered by like soul gems and stuff, it seems like, from what you know.
And in this case, you'd have a soul gem in it also, so you have the complexity of a soul gem powering a robot thing grafted to a person.
At that point, before we move on from this, do you think the creature that's trapped in the soul gem that's powering the thing knows that it's there, and then would it know that it's being corrupted?
Probably not. I don't think so.
I think they actually have like a confirmation on that, like from Dawnguard, where only like the black soul gems they really screw you over with them.
Right. Well, yeah, because then they could also be people.
Right, because those are people.
40K, they have
like you know what happens to animals
human
too.
cybernetic servitors, and they like will use actual human bodies and turn them into these like functional robot slaves, and they can choose if they sever the part of the brain where like they forget who they are as a person, so it's like a mindless person, or if they really want to torture that person, they can choose not to sever that part of the brain, and so the person's just trapped into this robot slave and has no way to externally express their condition, but they're just internally witnessing it forever.
Yeah, that is rough.
Yep. It's just, you're just in hell at that point.
Isn't that like the plot of RoboCop?
I thought that was a Metal Gear Rising.
It's a part of the Warhammer lore. It's probably also part of a lot of other stuff. I don't know. I'm just pulling from all these other like medias. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like this and this way, it's like this and this way.
It feels like a common trope from like the 80s and 90s once they really started talking about cybernetics and the dangers of that. But no, that would be cool in a Daedric version. I really like that. Tell you what, we got to go thank our patrons. So we got to thank you guys and everybody else, but we'll be back. So if you haven't gone yet, be ready, be thinking. It'll be your time. Here we go.
This is Hermes Morak, Dragonborn, and you are educating yourself to the Elder Scrolls Lorecast.
Here we are in the middle of the show, and we got to thank our new patrons. So welcome to Dylan C, Marvin T, Ben P, Emily P, Evan W, The Milkman 762, and Caitlin B. Welcome to the Patreon. Thank you for signing up and for being here and supporting the show. Also, we have to shout out our Daedric princes, Jacob K, Kira C, and Sheogorath Sweetroll, who's here with us tonight. Thank you so much for supporting us at that level. And if you're interested in joining and being on this show in the future, or getting ad-free episodes or t-shirts or any of that stuff, head over to patreon.com/Elder Scrolls Lorecast. Also, we got a new review in. This one's fun, everybody. This one comes from Johnny Gunner 101 in the United States, who writes, great content. Been listening for a few weeks. Have gone back and listened to some older stuff to get caught up. From being late into the whole universe of the Elder Scrolls, I find listening to your podcast very helpful with story and lore, as I'm not fully aware of everything, but am very interested in learning more, as Skyrim has hooked me into this series. I hope you guys see this review and understand that you do a great job at exploring the world of the Elder Scrolls and helping those like myself still feel engaged when we are late bloomers. Keep up the great work. Well, I'm so glad
I'm so glad.
Yeah, I'm so really glad you discovered Skyrim, and now you're into this like the rest of us.
You got quite a series ahead of you if you're just discovering Skyrim.
yeah.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Even if you don't want to go that far back, there's a lot.
Yeah. So thank you for leaving that review. If you leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it out in the future. Plus you can, what's it called? Comment on episodes on Spotify and do other things and share it with your friends and all that stuff. All of that helps. So thank you very much. But let's get on with the rest of the show.
You're listening to the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, dear child of cities. That is why the Night Mother loves you.
All right, we're back. Who wants to go next? Who hasn't gone yet? We've got Ombre, Sheo Gorath, Sweet Roll, Falcon. I think the 3 of you haven't gone. AK Spartan, you haven't gone either. Who wants to chime in? Ombre?
I'll go.
Let's do it.
I'll go. Yeah. So I did not hear this earlier. So we were talking a lot about, a lot of the weird creations. We were thinking of obviously we got that beautiful photo we just got in the chat with, I don't even know what to describe that.
Yeah, I call him John Daedric.
That's something. But what's I can think about is that in the future, they could definitely do stuff like that in game, because we most definitely have the technology, and that technology is currently sitting in No Man's Sky. If we were to take that technology and just plant it in and just give a bunch of different body parts for what you'd consider daedric, you could just have a literal amalgamation of thousands of different types of daedra that just look absolutely horrifying, and it'll just be every time you see one, you're in for a fight. And then based on what kind of if it has a claw for a hand, it'll try snip you. If it has obviously I don't know, a bunch of tentacles, maybe it'll try whipping the ground you're at to knock you over or something crazy like that. And if it has a tail, you can't really knock it over. If it has a bunch of legs, you could probably light its legs on fire, make it dance around because it's freaking out.
Right. Cool trying to say the tank treads, but without that type of technology.
I mean, you could. Well, what you could do is you could get it so that one of them has a really rocky hard exterior, so it's basically just a big tank and only has a few weak points, and make it basically a mini boss. And
all right. Give it a bug carapace or something like that.
Do the weak spots glow?
Sure, why not?
Hopefully they glow purple.
It is a video game.
They could just have it be really meat colored and have the carapace be gray.
Really meat colored.
Oh, fleshy and pulsating or something.
It's that one
squishy
guy
looking.
season. It's season 2 of Attack on Titan.
Oh, ugh.
No, you could do that. Just make its heart look corrupted, and that be its weak point. And so it's just pulsing purple from wherever its weakness is, and the veins get lighter as it goes further away, so you can kind of triangulate on its body where it's hiding. I think that'd be really cool.
Oof.
That's just me.
No, that sounds kind of gross.
That sounds like awesome game design.
Yeah. No, again, I feel these are actually really good game design creatures. Well, here's some lore to it. Also, this would actually functionally work pretty well as a game design thing.
Someone send this episode to Todd. Maybe we can hope for 2029 instead of 2030.
Todd, we're cooking.
Would this be associated with any specific prince?
Maybe Sheer-Gorath, just because this would be pretty much abominations.
Yeah, pretty wacky. Yeah,
it could be maybe. I know the princes are not prone to working together, but maybe some kind of collaboration between Sheer-Gorath and which one was the one with always assumed was power? He loves building power for invasion.
Dagon?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, it's not unheard of that they work together. It's just unusual.
Or that one of them makes a thing and another one corrupts that thing. So maybe this was originally something Mehrunes Dagon put together, and then Sheer-Gorath messes with it, and this is what we get.
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Another thing, I'm just going to spot out a second thing because I kind of went over the first one a little bit fast. But another thing was kind of, we didn't touch on this, but mimic type objects. So things that look like an object, but pop out basically at you. And so the hard carapace could be literally just a boulder in the wall. And then as you're walking by it literally just lurches out and starts fighting you. And just have just entire cave system just trapped. So you're always double guessing if what you're looking at is actually a rock, or if it's a daedra about to just actually end your existence.
Like a sophisticated form of
super crab.
Well, a camouflage, a very sophisticated camouflage where you can't quite tell if it's a thing or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of cool things you could do with that, especially with just, camouflaging the natural terrain.
Clearly, you've got the best idea because it's similar to mine.
I took everyone else's idea and just mashed them into one.
Well, it's funny because like that was just it. Originally, I was like, oh, okay. So like when Professor was talking about like, oh, yeah, the idea of like, oh, yeah, like not an actual mimic, but like an animated inanimate object. It's like, yeah, theoretically also you could have things that are pseudo inanimate objects, but it's like, well, yeah, no, that's, I mean, again, that's sort of like, as far as I understand, like a D&D thing or whatever. I mean, there was also that game Prey. They had like mimics and stuff like that. So it's like, it wouldn't even be totally out of the realm of something that like, I'm kind of actually surprised I've never had mimics in the Elder Scrolls Online, to be fair.
Yeah, it would totally fit. Rob, did you want to chime
like
in?
An artistic integrity thing.
I had a question because we're doing like the Daedric Prince Association, like who would it be against? And I'm just like, do we even know what kind of Daedric minions like Boethia has? Because I feel like some of these might go under Boethia, but we don't have any examples.
Hungers.
Yeah. That's Huggers?
Are Hungers Boethia?
Hungers are like primarily Boethia.
Are they primarily? But yeah. So, and that's the thing too, because like you have the situation of like the seducers or whatever. Sometimes they kind of trade.
They can
and
go
it's like, well, they're
they
no
have, like,
here,
a
but
point of
also here
origin.
type of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got like
But if I don't want to get too off topic, I was just like, do we even know?
Right. Yeah. At least Hungers aside, I guess there's not really a lot that seem to be defaulted to her or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, this is a fun one, Ombre. Thanks for sharing. Who would like to go next? I know I saw Shiogar Sweetroll had a little Zoom hand raised.
The Zoom hand.
I don't know if it's quieter now and you're able to chat. Do you think you can go yet? Gotta go. Has to go. Okay, so we're gonna read it. Gotta go. My idea was something similar to some of the creatures of Nurgle, like Nurglings.
Oh,
Nurglings.
okay. Those things. Okay, so I am very limited in my.
This is Warhammer. This is Warhammer stuff, right?
Lore.
Yeah.
As I don't really follow anything. However, recently, whatever was it, Darktide that I played with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was pretty sweet. And also, I played that 90s as hell boomer shooter Bolt Gun.
Yep.
And those things are hilarious. So I am totally on board with this just because I remember laughing hysterically, like blowing those things up.
I can give like a brief description of what a Nurgling is.
Yeah,
sure,
please do, because I just know that they're kind of derpy looking and hilarious. And man, there are way more organs in that amount of space than there should be.
So they're just described as the favored children of Nurgle. Nurgle is the grandfather of Pestilence. It kind of ties into with Lotus's Duriel thing, which is like a gross, like bug, monstrous thing. He's just like a big ol'. He kind of looks like the bad guy from Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie Boogie.
Oh, Oogie Boogie. Best character.
But instead of a burlap sack, it's just like rotting flesh.
I never made that connection. That's really funny.
And so the Nurglings are just tinier versions of him, and they're all disgusting. And some of them are just as small as like a floating spore, and some of them are like a child-sized, little demon thing.
Little baby,
they're
gross
all
demons.
horribly disgusting.
Oh man, yeah, this is great. This sounds like Vermina to me. What was that, Lord Professor?
Totally be a thing because there is like Ogrim and stuff. This could be like a little like mini like gross one.
It's similar
like an
in
with
like shape to an ogre, but like in appearance, very different.
Yeah,
very different.
Yeah,
sorry.
more like squishy.
Yeah, but like fat, like roll around kind of thing. Like a slowed Ogrim thing.
Yeah,
there's like
a
Slowgrim and
nice.
guts always pouring out of them. They always have like open wounds and like pus, and it's
like they have like a stitched up gut and they pull it open and stuff falls out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And maybe more Nurglings come out, to be honest.
Oh, what if we fought a real big one and when you cut it open, more little guys just spill out on top of you?
That actually sounds like a really cool boss idea.
That would be great. That would be so gross. This is a good one.
I'm a big fan of this.
Like you gotta like target the right spot so it doesn't like make a bunch of little mini guys.
Yeah, or maybe you want to do it on purpose because maybe
like
killing all the little guys also hurts the big one somehow, like they're connected or something.
Like, yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah, this definitely seems like a pretty solid Namir or Periite tie-in.
Yeah. All right.
They need to be very organized if they were Periite, though.
All right. Well, thank you for Sheogorath Sweet Roll for chiming in, trying to be here. I know things were busy where you were, but thank you for being here. Who wants to go next? We got AK and Falcon, I think, are the only two left to go. You want to just toss a coin?
I can go.
Go for it. AK Spartan, what do you think?
Yeah, so I was thinking of something. It would look basically like, sure people are familiar with Pokemon, kind of like a muck or a Grimer, but be made of melted gold. And I was, it's going to sound like I'm kind of piggybacking off the Nurgling thing, but I was thinking of calling them Greedlings, connecting it to probably Clavicus Vile. And like maybe if you're making a deal with Clavicus Vile, you try to, trick the trickster or whatever, he turns you into one of these things. But I also thought that it would kind of be ironically funny to have them, because they're made of melted gold. Well, they're greedy, so they could I think it would be funny if they like loved gold and were always trying to like get gold, but they were melting it into themselves, and that's how they become the big ones. Like that's how you get to be the muck ones.
What if
I'm sorry, being greedy.
Sorry to chime in. I just this idea of like, what if they like spewed like fire out of their mouth so they could like soften up the gold, and then they just stick it to themselves. Like every time they find gold coins or objects.
So it's like more of a choice. Yeah. So it's not like they're screwing it up. They're just absorbing it. I like that.
Right. They melt it down and then just kind of like add it into their bodies, and they get bigger and bigger as they get more gold.
I really hope someone was trying to eat lunch while listening to this episode. This is one of the grossest chats.
I love how everything we're coming up with is just like, all right, so how can we just be disgusting?
I love this. I was thinking like Meridia minion, because of like, gold shiny, and she loves trapping her minions. But the Clavicus Vile fits so much more. I love that.
That's a really good idea, actually. I really like that one.
Yeah. What if there's a dog version too? A little gold dog.
Why?
Because Clavicus,
a golden retriever,
has a dog. Yeah.
The golden retriever joke is pretty funny. I was about to say, what does it just stick like fur to itself and it just gets fuzzier? But the golden retriever joke, I feel, is really on point.
It's a golden retriever.
Enough.
That's pretty
golden
good.
Accumulator.
Yeah. I can imagine Clavicus making a golden retriever joke out of it and playing that up. Yeah. Okay, so gold accumulating monster thing from Clavicus Vile. I like it. Anyone else have any other thoughts on this one?
I don't have a way to like add to it. I think it's
maybe
great.
the pretty dog complete. Could be like Sheogorath, like messing with it to make a joke thing out of it, because he's like, hey, you like dogs.
I actually like the idea of like being able to piece like smaller chunks together into like enlarging it type of thing, and make your own phase system out of it and everything like that in terms of combat and stuff. It's kind of a neat idea that I don't think a lot of games utilize very much.
Well, what about this? You brought up Diablo and the little treasure goblins. What if it's like a treasure goblin and you get into dungeon and you come across one, but it runs away, and then it really quickly starts like opening up all the chests and trying to collect all the gold for itself, and it keeps on attaching it to itself as it runs through.
Interesting. So like the idea is to chase it down, because literally it gets stronger if you don't efficiently chase it down.
Right. And the gold goes away, and then you kill it, and then you've just got this corpse of a giant gold monster. And then it's heavier. You can put it in your inventory and try to do something with it later, but gold coins would be a lot more useful.
Gold monsters hide in the treasure chest mimic daedric creatures that have also been created in this conversation.
There you go. Yeah, Ben,
all coming together.
It could disguise itself as a pile of gold while an adventurer comes up and tries to grab it. Boom.
Yeah, like the mimic idea, going back to the whole mimic thing. Yeah. All right, this has got legs, golden legs. All right, thank you, AK Spartan. Falcon, I think you're the only one left. You got an idea?
A daedric corruption of snow whales.
Whoa, okay. What does this look? Is it just like a big snow whale monster?
I just love that you're bringing up snow whales outside that off-color comment that they make throughout the series at points.
Yeah, snow whales are weird.
Normal snow whales, they well, they like spread joy, they sing and stuff. They're real. They're definitely joke creatures. They're not supposed to be real, but
some Daedric prince makes them real.
The Daedric corruption, they're spreading fear. I don't know, instead of screaming, they're just yelling at you. I don't know. They're just the exact opposite. They're terrible versions of snow whales.
It's a cacophonous sound that comes out of their mouths, just like it's just like the most annoying sound ever. Yeah, goat scream.
They scream like goats.
Yes,
and they're just flying whales.
Oh my god. And then they don't go away. Once they find you, they just hover over top of you, yelling at you.
They don't do anything besides yell. They just, they're just there.
I love it. Yeah, I can imagine in the game trying to like shoot them down, trying to get them like.
It's really sad because the snow whales are like these beautiful, peaceful, like flying whale creatures in the lore, ideally, and you just corrupted him. that's horrible.
That's what corruption's all about. Doing terrible things.
It just makes me sad.
Maybe we need to do an episode next month about Daedric things that we would make into less corrupted versions of, like, reverse it.
Oh, okay. We're going to take an Ogrim and we're going to make it cute and fluffy.
Right. Like the cute, fluffy Ogrim. And now it's just a new race of Tamriel.
That's just we're going to take a daedra.
So it just becomes Snorlax.
Yeah, it's like a big Snorlax. And he's just like friendly guys.
It becomes Solly from Monster Inc.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Big fluffy, dumpy looking dude. And that's just like a race of big fluffy guys.
Looking dude?
Yeah, dumpy. Like like the Ogrims are kind of dumpy looking, right? Oh. I think that's a word.
Dumpy is the word I'd use for them, honestly.
Yeah, dumpy. Yes. All right, so Falcon has now broken all of our pictures of snow whales. So thank you for that, Falcon. Any other thoughts on snow whale corruption? No, we're good.
I feel like the trend to or the major theme to this was corrupt things that are not as corrupted in the series here.
Or just an amalgamation monster.
Yeah.
So okay. So if we were to combine everything together that we've put together so far, we end up with, let's go backwards. We end up with a snow whale that sounds like a goat that floats around in the air, that's made out of gold, that keeps getting bigger, that is...
Does it collect smaller snow whales?
It can collect smaller snow whales.
It eats other whales as it swims by.
Yes, it eats other whales. And then to Ombre's thing, somehow can disguise itself. And it can be changed.
Blended with the water.
Right. Oh, God. And then
turns into a toaster and nobody suspects a thing.
Right. And it does that. And then who else do we have here that I'm forgetting? It has parts that can be interchangeable and come off. It's grafted to a Dwemer. It's...
If you try killing it, more of it come out of it.
Yeah, there you go. And it's super gross on the outside, like a nurgling.
It could like camouflage itself as a ship that it's like grafted itself to.
Oh, there you go.
See, there you go.
There you go. It probably shoots laser beams somehow. Has a weird tail, dragon head. Also,
I feel like there's no way to stop this, because if the thing eats smaller whales to stick them on itself, and when you rip it open, it makes whales, it's just going to perpetually get bigger.
You have to go like Moby Dick and find the core of it.
It was Min-Maxian's class.
Yeah,
that would be the final boss of the game.
Yeah, everyone thought the dragons were going to bring the end times. No, it's the corrupted snow whale thing.
Good luck, Alduin.
Yeah, that's it.
Try eating this.
That's amazing. Thank you for joining me, everybody. This has been super enlightening. I would love it if we saw any reflection of any of these ideas in a future game. That would be really cool. So if you're listening, devs, we gave you some really good ideas. You'd be crazy not to use these ideas. So thanks, everybody, for joining me. Here, tell you what, let's go back through, everyone. If you've got something that you want to shout out, a project that you're working on, stuff you're putting out into the world that you want people to know about, then feel free to share that. Otherwise, thanks for being here, and we're wrapping it up. Let's start with Ben. Ben's up at the top corner.
Yeah, and I have stuff. So I host 3 shows myself. The Holocron History, Star Wars Canon versus Legends, to where we take a look at the difference between the current canon and old legends of Star Wars. I am one of the hosts for the Wizarding World Lorecast, where we have a dive into the Harry Potter universe. And I am now, with my new show, a host of the Final Fantasy Lorecast, to where we have a dive into all things Final Fantasy.
The finalist of fantasies.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome, dude. Yeah, those are all on robotsradio.net. So if you're looking for links, you can head over there. And if you're like, there was a show about something, I don't remember what it was, just go over there. You'll find links to everything. So thanks, Ben. Thanks for being here. Ombre, you got anything to share?
Typical stuff. Obviously I stream. Kind of been on a little hiatus of the stream, but I'm going to be coming back this Monday. I'm moving a little bit, so we have to take another maybe few day hiatus for that.
Just busy, huh?
But it is what it is. So obviously my background's gonna change here in a little bit, but stuff like that, I'm just streaming here and there. I mainly play stuff like let's see, No Man's Sky. I'm gonna be playing what was it, Starfield, once I get that downloaded.
yeah, for sure.
Once that's ready, I'm gonna be streaming that. But games like that, I love space games. So
awesome. And that's at Ombre Mortem on Twitch?
Yep.
Awesome. There you go. Thanks, Ombre. Rob, you got anything going on?
Yeah, well, no, but sure. I am the PC ESO Guild officer, and please join the guild and come play ESO with us. I've mostly just been playing Baldur's Gate 3 for a while now, but I am still on ESO technically, so I'll be around. And come play ESO, or if anyone wants to play Baldur's Gate. I love this game, so if you guys want to play with me, let me know.
Nice.
Because I have 6 playthroughs at this point.
Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah, I've just been having a lot of time with that. Don't follow me on Twitter. It's no longer good anymore or bad. Don't, just leave. But otherwise, Rob the Princess on socials. Find me. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Rob. AK Spartan, you got anything going on? Yeah,
I muted myself twice instead of unmuting myself on my Discord. No, I don't have anything to promote. I've talked about eventually starting streaming. I actually think I'm probably going to start diving into some of that stuff next week. I just moved in. My room's totally empty. I just moved into a new apartment. So after the holiday weekend and everything, once I get settled, I'll probably have some stuff going on there. So next month, I bet I will have a good amount of stuff to promote. Nice. But I have been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3, so I'd be totally down to jump on that and play. I'm excited for Starfield. And to whoever stole my car, I hope you get turned into a greedling.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's such a crazy story.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right. It's out of my head. It's insurance and police at this point. But
right.
Sure, but that's still
it is
not convenient.
Thankfully, I live in a college town that's very walkable, so it's not totally I could get a bike and probably do everything except for visiting family out of state. But it does suck. That's why I hope they get turned into a greedling.
Yeah, I hope so too. If you're stealing cars, you deserve to become a greedling. So, thanks, AK. Falcon, you got anything going on?
Same as always. I don't do anything. I drink Heineken and play games. So,
hey, that's good enough.
Not much goes on in my life.
That's cool, man. Well, thanks for being here. And then
thanks for having me.
Yeah, and then the Lord Professor wrapping this up.
My thing that I want you to check out, I just tweeted at Tom an art piece I drew of the creature I'm named. His name is John Daedric.
Is this? Did you put it in the group chat too? Is it the same picture? Yeah.
I also tweeted it at Tom.
Oh, I'm glad.
I could see it.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh yeah, he's beautiful, isn't he?
Oh yes, a piece of brilliant artwork. Maybe we should make that the
thumbnail.
The thumbnail for the video for this?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that.
100%. You got to do it now.
That sounds great. Yep. Awesome. Well, thanks.
Can I draw more art of awful stuff?
You can draw all the things you want. If they're terrible enough, then we will use them.
Dude, I'm so down.
That's the encouragement. If they're a mess, if it's
really bad.
Make sure the meme, I'm down,
really
man.
Suck.
Yeah. You have anything else you're doing that you want to share?
I turned 20 in a week, so you're all obligated to give me $20.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, totally. No, I think it's in the Constitution.
So on my next birthday, you all give me my age and money?
Yeah.
Cool.
We're not made of money, Tom.
You're so old, Tom.
We are, Tom.
Stop asking because they're shameful.
I already pay you.
Actually, yeah. Yeah, I'm good for like
multiple times
every month in order to be on the show.
Dude, wow.
Well, it's extra that month that I turn, another year older.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, that's how that works.
I feel like that's a scam at that point.
Or we could just do it like $1 per month that you're old, or maybe day. How many days? That'd be a lot of money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, thanks for being here.
I want to agree,
Professor.
I'm not made of money.
And happy upcoming birthday.
Thanks.
Lotus, you got anything you want to share before we head out?
Yeah, so I'm not particularly. I've just kind of been busy with real life stuff, and when I can, we've been recording to keep up with information with Elder Scrolls Online. We have very, very, very little information that, hey, look, pre-production for the Elder Scrolls 6 is starting. So I guess that's pretty much the whole highlight of that for Tales of Tamriel. But just on the car thing, I figure I'll leave us with a funny anecdote from our other show. My friend and former co-host Promethean from the other show, when we were doing a live stream on a dungeon launch, someone literally drove into his car midstream outside the window. We were doing it blind like we do every launch day, and we're on the channel, and all of a sudden he just goes, "Oh my God, my car!" And somebody T-boned his parked car, just totally just caved it in. So, I mean,
that
stuff
sucks.
like that happens, and it's really weird, especially when it was actually caught on a stream.
Yeah, that's nuts. Oh, that's so crazy.
That sounds like something that would happen to us. That sounds like New Englander driving.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I was going to say, he's not even from New England, so I'm assuming it was just residual energy from hanging out with me.
Maybe.
The problem.
Maybe. It also sounds like a Florida man kind of thing.
I think you owe him an apology.
Well, he didn't eat his face. He just hit his car.
Yeah. That story. Oh, man. Well, cool. Go check out Tales of Tamriel. And thank you all for being here. And, of course, my other shows, the Starfield Lorecast is going. We actually have real lore to talk about rather than just speculation coming very soon. But we're going to be highlighting a bunch of other creators and getting a lot of people's first takes on the game for the next few weeks, so we don't spoil too much of the lore right away. But then we'll be digging into more of the deeper lore stuff. But all that stuff, all the shows that I do, all the shows Lotus does, and everybody else over at robotsradio.net. And everybody, thank you for being here. Chat, thanks for being here. We got to head out and go play some Starfield, so stay safe out there. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'd love to hear from you. You can reach me on Twitter at robots_radio or Lotus of Doom at Lotus of Doom. Also, you can join us on the Robots Radio Discord channel. You can easily just search Robots Radio Discord on Google or check the description underneath the podcast. Also, this podcast is recorded live every week on Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on the Robots Radio channels on Twitch, YouTube, and on Facebook. So just search Robots Radio on any of those platforms. Come join us. We'd love to chat with you while we record the show, or before or after. Either way, just come hang out with us. And if you're looking for more information about my shows and the shows on the Robots Radio Network, go to robotsradio.net for all the information about all the shows on the network, including the Robots Radio Rocket Club, where I help both new and existing podcasters to grow their shows, build their audiences, and create the best podcast they possibly can. All of that at robotsradio.net. We'll see you next time.